Hey everybody, Vilisink back again with Raid Shadow Legends. And in this video, guys, I want to take a look at some of the champions I kind of feel like I use the most. Take a look at their builds, look at their kits. Also, some of these are some of my very favourite champions in the game, so I feel like I want to just jump right on in. And we're going to go to the Champions tab. So, most used champions are champions I use pretty much the most. Now, interesting that it starts on Ninja, who, by the way, is my very first +1. Now, in Ninja, I had a damage build, I had a healing build, I went back to damage, as you've seen for Faction Wars. But a lot of his damage really comes from his debuffs. He can hit, especially with the escalation on his passive, with Clambot and whatnot. And yes, you can get 6 figures in dungeons and so forth, but for me, the damage comes from his HP burn. And this is my Dragon 25 Destroyer. Absolutely. I'm very close with Ice Golem as well. I just need to add some defense and some HP. Everything else kind of looks okay. The accuracy could actually be a little bit less and I'd probably still be okay. But this is one of my absolutely most used and favourite champions. People give him a bit of hate to begin with, and I'm not sure why, because he truly is. He's quite good. So 60k HP, 2.8k attack, 2.1k defense, 244 speed, kinda quick. No crit damage, because his power is in his debuffs. 291 resist and 337 accuracy. So the regen build really gives him just fantastic sustainability, especially as I'm trying to do some pretty spectacular things with him in Ice Golem in this set. He's good in pretty much every aspect of the game. Granted, if you want to use his A1 to escalate damage, this is not necessarily the build for it. His debuffs are the way to go. There's two ways to go. There's damage and there's debuffs. I prefer debuffs. He has the decreased defense on his A1, 60% chance. Can book at 65 for the mastery. And having a decreased defense on your A1 is very strong. Nice. Hailburn is the Hail Mary, attacks 3 times at random, so very good, especially the dragon. You're going to get 3 hits on the dragon. Chance to place, HP burn, bookable to 100% chance. It's 3 turns on a 3 turn cooldown, so effectively you've got a chance to keep a HP burn up consistently. 3 turn cooldown lasts for 3 turns. Also, puts up a perfect veil buff on himself for 2 turns. So that's even more damage mitigation because he cannot be hit unless it is an AoE attack. When using this skill against bosses, he will instantly activate any HP burn debuffs, including HP burn debuffs placed by him. So he will activate if you're with Mordecai or any HP burn champion, Drex, who's a fantastic free champion in the Bazaar, by the way. He will activate those debuffs. And he truly is just a really awesome champion. I'll quickly show you the masteries that I gave him. His passive is just an accumulation of damage. It ramps up to some quite scary numbers. If you've seen, there's a lot of content creators that do just pack him with damage, and they get some insane kind of numbers. This is just my preferred route. War Master for the extra damage. You could go defense tree, but I don't feel it would, help that much. The support is the extra HP. So I needed the HP, some accuracy, some little turn meter manipulations, a lot of steel. Master Hexter, Evil Eye, and when everybody dies, he gets even quicker. And because I do a respectable amount of dragon, this is the passive. It increases his attack by 10%, goes to 100% attack increase. and a 25% crit damage increase each time a single enemy is hit by all 3 of Ninja's skills. Very good against any bosses, to be fair. But when it's with bosses, it goes up by 20% to 100 and crit damage 10% up to 25% instead. So overall, by far one of my very most used champions. Just insanely strong, regardless if you go for the regen, sustainability build, or the high damage build. Absolutely, he's worth your time either way that you choose to build him. And I kind of feel like a lot of people will say Arbiter, but I kind of feel like it has to be said. She is one of my also mainly used champions that I use quite consistently. And it's for the turn meter, it's for the revive. Has a weaken on the A1, so you can reduce buff duration on the A2, which is really cool. And because I need a speed lead, or I use a speed lead in arena, this is exactly where she goes. I have no idea what Masteries I actually gave her. So yeah, defense tree, offense tree I don't really think is worth it that much because she's not there to do damage. So defense just into improved parry, is it, or blast proof? So blast proof, mighty endurance. And the support tree is accuracy. Turn meter when a buff expires or is removed, lower steel. Chance to reduce a cooldown. Lasting gifts. Spirit haste, and as you've seen, timely intervention, which is extremely handy if your team gets hit with a lot of damage. She 1,000,000% of the way will come in, help you out. I'm not going to look over her kit because everybody knows Arbiter, but she's most likely one of a lot of people's, most used champions. And that's the build for her. 324 speed and just about 70k HP, 2.3k defense. Another champion that I would say that I pretty much use really on a consistent level is Foley. Foley, I pulled him rather late, but he's fantastic. I got to arena where I used to use Rotos, and he's good in arena, don't get me wrong, even like post nerf. Pre nerf he was really insane. I'm sure it pissed people off, but I pulled Rotos. I got to enjoy him before his nerf. And I built Foley just so I could have an AoE damage dealer for arena. He's also really good in dungeons, Doom Tower, wherever you want to take him, wherever you want to have a play around with him. But mainly he is in an arena team which goes Arbiter, Lisandra, Madame Ceres, and Foley. And I managed to get him into a Savage set into Broken Pieces, which I might try and rework at some point to potentially get more attack or more crit damage. I do believe on Sunday there's 2x Savage, so that'll be very interesting. I might have to pay a lot of attention to that. So he's got a 4 hit on his A1, chance to place decreased defense, which is insane, and it's a 4 hitter, so that opens him up to be good in a lot of places. Attacks 4 times at random, again, opens him up to be good in a lot of places. Leech, keep your whole team alive, potentially. He does lack books, but the Sealed Fate is really where it's at. Even unbooked, he is just a monster. Decreases turn rate by 15% and attacks the targeted enemy. So he attacks everybody, and the first person he attacks again, and if you kill people, they cannot be revived, which is fantastic. And Ice Golem is fantastic, again, anywhere. And he's by far one of my most used champions because I'll often go into arena, and I do like to go in with my speed boost team and to wipe other teams out. So offense, we went pretty much for damage masters down to Helm Smasher to kind of get more use from that Savage, just to accentuate the ignoring the defense. Defense just down to counter attack at the bottom. Delay death. Other 4 masteries. Probably not really necessary. Support tree. I wasn't thinking about it. I really just wanted this because the counter attack is really good. If he crits on all 4 hits, he can do a very, very good amount of damage. He will one-shot a lot of arena teams. By far, one of my most used damage dealers. His full stats will quickly just... And I just realised he has a reaction accessory on. Interesting. Not sure why it's interesting, I just don't remember putting one on. So 27k HP, 4.2k attack, 187 speed, good crit rate and low crit damage. But again, I feel like I might rework him soon, try to squeeze more damage if that is possible, because you never know. Arrow, just a little shout out to her because I got a Taurus, so I will be working on Taurus quite soon, and you may see more videos, or I might start using her because of her combust, which I feel is just so overpowered if you don't use a seer team. So it's somebody else that I use on a very regular basis is this man right here, and he truly is a godsend. I remember pulling this champion and a few of my clanmates being kind of pissed off or jealous, whichever word you want to use is totally fine. But he has something that all other champions have. So quickly, I'll show you how he's packed up. So 38k HP, 3.6k attack. I did want to go for some damage with this champion. 216 speed. He doesn't have 100% crit rate, but I can use increased crit rate buffs if I choose to. But realistically, he doesn't have to crit as long as he does what he has to do. And what he has to do mainly cannot be resisted, so a 3-1, 216 crit damage and a small bit of resistance. And basically what it is, he has a very handy decreased defense on his A1, which is always nice to have. Petrify is pretty good for Fire Knight, and Ancestral Spirits is pretty good because it's irresistible. Decreased defense and increased attack. So decreased defense you cannot resist, which means no accuracy required, unless you want to have a backup with the A1 of course. The increased attack buff is also quite nice, and basically I also do a respectable amount of Fire Knight. I don't have the gear to really show I farm that dungeons as much. And I also do Spider, you may have noticed due to my silver. Came close to getting the skin for Kale. He was not in the team for that because it was a Golem Pact only team, but I think like with a day, 1 day, 12 hours, 2 or 3 people had interest and clearly had a better team than I did because I only farmed like stage 13, but I did get close to 5k points, so no, I came second, but this is really what I use Ghostbar for. It's Fire Knight, it is Spider. Occasionally I will take him into Doom Tower if I want to speed it up, just because obviously it's getting decreased defense guaranteed on the first wave straight away is a fantastic bonus. It's going to make the run way quicker rather than missing it on 1 or 2 people, coming back around using it again. So Ghostborn is respectively fast, 216 speed, 71% crit rate, or 70%. It's enough. You can get way more damage out of Ghostborn, he is really good. And I was also messing around with Ghostborn and 4 Cold Hearts, but I feel like the Arbiter is quite good as a revive because the lure isn't built yet. But he nonetheless is one of my absolute favourite champions. Next up, the legendary that's next is actually somebody again I used in Fire Knight. Occasionally, I might take him into arena. I definitely like to use him in Doom Tower. Don't always go with the Seer team. I sometimes just like to kind of go brute force, and it takes a slight bit longer, but we get the job done. And I recently changed his build just a little bit because he's a debuffer at heart, but he can smack. I might do a different video just with debuffers that can pack a bit of a punch. Because he'll be one of them. And I pulled Nethril years and years, my very first legendary champion. I'm not biased towards him, he just has a kit that truly is fantastic. So let me show you my champion. He is 39k HP, 2.9k attack, 221 speed. I put up his crit rate from, I think it was like 86, swapped a couple of perception pieces, 171 crit damage. But the damage is not necessarily required. It's good to have. Not really required, but the 100% crit rate is quite nice, guaranteed. I'm just going to get that little bit of extra damage, guaranteed I'm going to get a critical hit, and 305 accuracy. So what makes him really fantastic is triple hit A1, each hit a chance to place 5% poison debuff for 2 turns. Now Nethril, and a long time ago, if we quickly talk about Clambot, he used to use his A2 and his A3, but a long time ago in a patch they changed it, so Nethril's AI in Clambot only uses his A1. And due to that, in a non-unkillable team, you're looking at 15 million damage easy. Guaranteed poison. The debuff bar fills up quick, and it never ever seems to empty itself. A very strong A1. Attack all enemies. Chance to place a stun debuff on all enemies for a turn, and if he doesn't place the stun, they get a decreased speed. So they're not stunned, but it will still slow the wave down, which is again a very good move to have. It's also good in a stun set if you choose to do so, because Bat Swarm is also an AoE, and it has probably one of the best A3s in the game. Maybe it's not, maybe I might be a little bit biased, but I do feel like there's not a lot of legendaries or other champions that have a 75% turn meter decrease as an AoE. You will get decreases at different amounts, but this is just a ridiculous thing to take in. I like to use him in Fire Knight. I like to use him in Doom Tower, but mainly he is consistently very much in my Fire Knight team. Again, I do like to farm Fire Knight. I am after some nice curing for Volgoth potentially, as I'm debating 6-starring him, getting as much HP on him as I can, and just looking at those very much insane heals. Nethril has been there since day one. I don't think I've had a Fire Knight team that hasn't had Nethril in it, due to the multi-hits, the AoE, especially the turn meter for Fire Knight. I think at one point I potentially had him in Spider, but that's going way back. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, still to this day, he has survived longevity. He survived pretty much everything that's been thrown at him, and he's still one of my absolute most used champions in the game. Quick shout out to Lisandra, who is after Arbiter in my arena team. It's pretty much the only place right now I use her, and it is because she can transfer all debuffs from herself to the target. Depending if she gets debuffed, it's very handy to just kind of cleanse herself off. Fully depletes the target's turn meter, which means it fully depletes it. It's not one of those moves that will say depletes it by 50% or 100%. This will physically empty the turn meter of an enemy, and in arena it is absolutely just insanely strong. Increase speed buff on the A3 on all allies for 2 turns, a nice speed up for your team. She also gives you a 30% turn meter increase while decreasing the enemy's turn meter by 30%, which is stupidly broken. If you have Lisandra, there's teams that don't use Arbor and they use Lisandra first, because if Lisandra goes first and uses Energize, the chances of your team going are quite slim. The odds are diminished quite a bit. Also has a nice in all battles speed aura by 24%. Again, makes her viable for a lot more places than I currently use her. Being in all battles, her Masteries, if I can check, went down for the extra accuracy. Laura Steel, lasting Spirit Haste, some turn meter, and down to defense blast proof. The Surgeon, which is a very strong mastery, chance to remove a debuff. So how is she suited and booted? Let's take a look. She is 58k HP, 2.4k defense, 274 speed, 412 accuracy. So she has the accuracy to back up that kit. In Arena, there is pretty much a high chance I'm always going to reduce turn meter. Unless I'm high gold 5, then I might be too slow to potentially take a turn, but she very rarely fails. Along with Arbor in the Arena team, she is one of the A-listers for sure. If I'm looking at my most used champions, then yeah, she absolutely has to be in the video. What we'll do is we'll name a few epics, just so we're not going legendary heavy here. Name a few epics, potentially a few rares, just so we can even things out. But Madame Ceres, she is used everywhere. Everywhere. Purely because she's just badass. And she is stacked with a lot of accuracy, as you can see. We'll show you the full stats of her build as well. 642 accuracy, 233 speed, 50k HP, 2.4k defense. And basically, all the other stats are what they are because I was going for accuracy. So the pieces that had some tanky stats, speed, accuracy, are what she got, and this is basically how her build turned out. I wasn't looking for X amount here, X amount there. It was just, I went pure accuracy, 1,000,000%. And the only thing missing is pretty much a perception set with speed boots and a speed helm, but I do have a quad, I believe, of 47 accuracy, which I should glyph to increase that just a bit, but that's a pretty decent pair of speed boots if you ask me. So she is used everywhere. And pretty much Midnight Ritual, I will buff pretty much everybody. If I'm too slow to take a turn, fair enough, I might die. If I'm too slow to take a turn and I still get a turn, I'll strip your boss. But if I get taken out, then fair play, I'm too slow. But the decrease attack and decrease defense on the same move on all enemies for 2 turns on a 4-turn cooldown is pretty decent. She also has a very nice A2, which is AoE first of all, just a stealing a random buff. Places block debuffs on all allies for 2 turns if any buff is stolen. Places a true fear, which happens for me quite a bit. I must admit, I'm quite happy to see the true fears pop up. And on the A1, she can give herself a wee shield. Is this the wee shield move? No, just placing a fear. So it's the fear. But nonetheless, she is my accuracy queen. I don't think I'm going to be touching her build unless I get some more perception pieces. But yeah, everywhere. Arena, Doom Tower, dungeons, you name it. She's absolutely just somebody that is used. Because I do a substantial amount of dragging, I need somebody to clear the ways quickly, and I use Seer in my stage 20 and my stage 25 team, depending on who I'm. If it's like a tournament and I'm going very, very quick, I'll do stage 20. It's not that much slower for 25, but I still use Seer because Elenarl is kind of a work in progress. I do have Calvalax, Dark Kale, Taurus now, so even Urigrim. Shagur is decent for poisons as well. But Seer is 54k HP, 188 speed, good crit rate, almost 300 crit damage, and a bit of accuracy. She's basically there. She has Clambot, which is nice. Proc of an extra turn on the A1, but it's Karma Burn that we're going for. We're going to get as much bosses as we can. And we want to one-shot the wave. That's all we're thinking about. Masteries, down to flawless execution. Chance to counter-attack retribution in the defense tree. Crit rate, crit damage, ruthless ambush, methodical, kill streak. Just the usual ones that you would use for, that type of champion. Obviously, we have another shout out for Maneater, who obviously is one of my very most used champions. Done a few videos on him in the past, as he is in the budget unkillable with Brachus, Fane. Depending on the affinity, if it's Void, it's a Cult Brawler who hits like a truck. And if it's Force, it's Geomancer. But everybody knows that we use him all the time. I do a lot of Spider, so potentially we can take a look at Akoth, the Seared, who is just an absolute Spider Slayer. He's a free champion you get from Doom Tower if you play long enough. And he has a chance, the increased chance for every alive enemy to place that HP burn. With all that Spiderlings, you're guaranteed you're placing the HP burn. And it just does its work. 41k HP, 203 speed. Attack defense is good. Doesn't necessarily need that much, but it does have 270 accuracy, so more than enough for stage 25 Spider. A very, very strong champion. Somebody I also use quite a lot. I feel like I'm kind of just I'm filling out the champions for each teams. So after this champion here, we'll go down to some rares. There is a few rares that I kind of use on a regular basis that are still quite relevant to the teams I use. And it's this champion here, 262 speed, 2.6k defense, it's under 40k HP. Enough accuracy though, and basically he has the 100% crit rate, and pretty much he is my buffer for Seer. She eats his buffs like beard meets food destroys a buffet. It's just the perfect combination. So in his A1, fills his turn rate by 10%, fills it by 20 if it's a critical hit, which is nice. Attacks one enemy, also attacks other enemies. If their first attack is critical, which it is, then he can potentially place a stun. But it's psychic guidance that I use him for, and it's because he has a triple buff: increased crit damage, increased speed, increased crit rate, which I feel like is one of the only champions, or potentially the only champion to give you these three buffs, which are ridiculous. Also a Doom Tower champion. If you're on your way to getting him, then I hope you enjoy just how good he is. He is immune to turn meter decreasing effects after you 3-star ascend him. Antizora is for Arena, and it's 17% speed. Now, I use a few of these other ones like Fane. I use a Cult Brawler, like I say, Clambot. But we also have, as a rare, you've seen, we'll give a shout out to Painkeeper. Painkeeper, obviously there for the budget unkillable team to make sure that Maneater gets his unkillable back in an appropriate time. She is in a toxic set at 221 speed. Everybody in my clan boss team has perfect crit rate, and she does okay. She's basically just there for the healing and the A3, which reduces the cooldowns by 2 turns. But when I look at rares, I use a lot. Now I have not as many as I used to have. Pretty much we have 4 cold hearts here. One unbuilt, which I may build very very soon because you can never have too many cold hearts. But it's cold heart. We'll take a look at these 3 cold hearts. I use them in Spider because they're fantastic, and I use them in Fire Knight. I use 2 or 3 in Fire Knight depending. It's normally 2 in Spider because I need the reset, I need the HP burn. But everybody knows Cold Heart, 4 hits in the A1, 4 hits in the A2, Heart Seeker, crazy damage. Just everybody knows. 38k HP, 2.3k attack, 190 speed. So as long as she has over 70% crit rate, she gives herself an additional 30% chance on the Heart Seeker when it comes to crit rate, so you don't have to go 100%. It's 265 crit damage, 280 accuracy. She also has a fantastic skin. My normal looking cold heart that does not have the fire skin is my savage one, which I'm quite happy about because my savage gear kind of sucks, being totally honest. So it was nice to actually get a build in savage. Because the crit rate was part of the issue, it kind of made cold heart just the perfect candidate to put into savage, and I use her constantly. I constantly use her because I do like to grind dungeons, and Fire Knight just has some of the best gear. Let's be honest, the gear sets that we're going to need. 35k HP, 2.2k attack, 162 speed, a bit slower, but good crit rate, 255 crit damage, 250 accuracy. And we have another one. Again, from the Fires of Brimstone, 31k HP, 2.9k attack, 204 speed, again 71% crit rate, as long as it's above 70% you're good, 271 crit damage, 241 accuracy. Those are, when it comes to rares, I use Cold Heart just kinda like my blood supply. It's muscle memory now. But the champion that will end off this video, because I don't want to start boring you too much, but if I do Dragon 20, which I do, depending if it's an event and I'm going for speed farming, it's 20, otherwise it's 25, but still, I feel like Frozen Banshee needs to be kind of mentioned here because I used her to solo 20 before I used Ninja to solo 25, so she absolutely deserves to be in this video. And she's also one of my favourite champions as well, and she's got a pretty decent build. When it comes to the dragon, it has no chance whatsoever. I'm pretty sure she can solo 22, 23 as well, quite easily. Potentially 24 is, I don't think I've tried her in 24 for quite some time. Normally 20, I'll get like 58 seconds or so. And she has just about 40k HP, 2.8k defense, so enough defense just to make her tanky enough to take a hit and survive. 232 speed, wanted her to be quick. Because the quicker she is, the quicker I can get more poisons and more poison sensitivity. Crit rate, crit damage is not necessarily important, but I have 268 accuracy, which makes me quite solid. And a quick look at the kit. So, chance to place poison for 2 turns if targets under a poison sensitivity, which is quite nice. Cruel exaltation, I don't use that much. I just turn it off. So it's, for me, it's A3, then A1, 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 A3, and so forth, because that's where the poison sensitivity comes in. And she is Frozen Banshee, let's not forget, the very first champion to have poison sensitivity. She came with the Battle Pass many, many moons ago. People just do not understand how good Battle Pass was. There has been nothing remotely close to the Battle Pass, not even close to the Battle Pass. And the aura is quite nice. I like accuracy. And all battles by 35%. So Masteries, War Master, Methodical, bring it down. Life Drinker for a bit of a heal. Counter attack to add more poison. Resurgent just to remove debuffs. And Season Lifesteal, because with the War Master procs and the damage that she does through her attacks, that's how she will sustain herself and keep herself alive through the fight and just easily solo the boss that I need to solo with. Now I'm going to end it there. I don't want to drag on too much. There is more champions, but between Scarlet Salmon, maybe Dark Kale, Vogoth, and a few other champions, maybe even Big Un. I am debating on who my next 6-star is, but looking through some of the champions in my collection, that's pretty much my most used and my most favourite champions, along with their builds, their kits, their masteries. It's been a very cool video to do, get to look through all my champions, just to take a step back, and it makes you kind of realise that you may have your set teams and you don't think you use a lot of champions, but you actually do, and you use some champions way more than you use others. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate you guys watching. Stick a comment down below who your favourite champion is, your most used champion is, or your champion you feel has the best build. Give me something cool to read, and I'll make sure to respond to it. But guys, I appreciate your time. I love you all. Stay safe. Keep on reading. I'll see you soon.